Hello everyone, welcome to the next video of data structure and algorithm. So in the previous videos, we have seen one data structure that is stack and its all applications through programming also. But again, we are going for a new data structure that is my queue. So why we are going for queue even if we know or we have read the data structure stack. Okay. So normally what we have studied, stack follows our LIFO data structure, last in, first out. But in real life, this is not acceptable always. Okay. So if you'll take one example that there will be a queue for movie ticket. So can you say that anyone who will reach at the end will get the ticket first? Never. If the line of food court is also there, people who will come at the end will get or will be served the food first. Never. If you'll go for petrol pump simulation problem, that you need to provide the fuel to the people who are coming in the queue. So can you say that no, any person who will reach at the end or will be present at the end will be given the petrol or fuel first? Never. Okay. So sometimes in few concepts, you have to go for a data structure which is known as your FIFO data structure. That means first in, first out. Okay. First in, first out. So many real-time applications, they follow this particular principle, and this queue is the background or the concept behind your FIFO data structure. Okay, so anywhere you will go, you have to maintain queue to get your result to be done, and anyone who will reach at the first, they have to get the output first. Okay, so everywhere we are following the concept of FIFO data structure. Done. So what is that? This is known as your first in, first out. Anyone who will come first will get the output first. Okay. So like stack, we are also having some basic operations in queue that is known as your insert and delete. From the name itself, we can realize by using insert function, you can enter values into the queue. And while using delete function, you have to remove the element from the queue. So how the operations are being done, that we'll see step by step in our next video. Okay. So for stack operations, we have used one variable that is stock. That is one-way traffic, or we are doing the operation from one end, either push or pop. So that's why you are keeping track by using a single variable that is stop. But here in queue, you have to do two operations because you have to keep the track who has come first, and you have to keep track who has been deleted first or removed first. So that means from two ends, you have to do the operation. So for that, we need two variables, that is rear and front, to do our operations of queue. Okay. Now what actually rear points? It points to the last element of the queue. Means currently who is present. Like suppose there is a queue for movie ticketing. Okay. So person 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 has reached at the end. So rear will point to 5. Clear? The last element of the queue. Similarly, who will come first will get the ticket first. So front variable will point to that value who is the first element of the queue. Okay. So the basic difference between rear and front is the rear always points to the last element of the queue. Front always points to the first element of the queue. Okay. So by keeping all those things in brain or mind, let us do the insert operations. Okay. Now, from the name itself, that we are clear that by using insert operation, we have to add new elements or new items to the end of the queue. Okay. So let us do it step by step. Then, so suppose first step, step one, there will be a queue. And if there will be a queue, that means we are implementing through the concept of array. So there must be one size. Okay. So suppose size of the queue is 5. Now once it will be array, so array index will start from 0. Okay. Now from initial stage, whenever the queue is completely empty and we have not done any kind of operations, now my rear and front both will be initialized to -1. Okay. So if their value is -1, we will clear that not a single element is present in the queue. Okay. So in step 2, we are doing the insertion of the item. Clear? Like push operation, insert operation is also having one option, which value you want to keep or which value you want to insert. Okay. So suppose I am writing insert 11. So that means I want to keep the value 11 in my queue. Okay. Now before doing the operation, let me just ask a simple question. Suppose you have taken admission in your class and you are the only one who has taken admission. Clear? Now, whenever the exam will be there and you have appeared the exam, your parents will ask who is the topper of your class. Now you are the topper. Now, if wrongly or by mistake they have asked who is the last student in your class. Now, unfortunately, you are the last student in your class because you are the only student in your class. Similarly, if you are doing the insertion for the first time, that means a single element will be present in the queue. Then rear will point to 11 and front will also point to 11. Why? Because the rear will point to the last element. If there is a single element is present in the queue, now 11 will be the last one, which will be pointed by rear. And 11 is the first element, which is pointed by front. Clear? So that means whenever the first time I'll do the insertion, I'll increment rear by 1. So -1 plus 1 will become 0. Similarly, front also I have to increment front plus 1 equal to 0. Okay. And now this is what the status of my queue. Okay. So now to which index rear is pointing? Now rear is pointing to 0. Front is also pointing to 0. And I'll keep the value to where rear is pointing. Okay. So that means now whenever the first element you are inserting into the queue, my rear and front both needs to be incremented because logically this is the last element in the queue and this is also the first element in the queue. Clear? Now next step, suppose in step 3, you'll do the insertion once again. So insert 22. Okay. Now whenever you are doing the insertion for the rest of the time, means you are not doing the insertion for the first time, then only you have to increment the rear variable. Okay. So 0 plus 1 will become 1. Now if this is my queue, now 11 is present here. So front is pointing to 0, but currently rear is pointing to whom? The rear is pointing to 1, and then 22 will be inserted where rear is pointing. Okay. So this is what the difference between for the insertion for the first time and insertion for the rest of the time. If you are doing the insertion for the first time, the rear and front both needs to be incremented. For rest of the time, only rear you have to increment. Clear? So let me do one more insert operation. Okay. So suppose insert 33. Done. So what you are doing? You are not doing the insertion for the first time. So only you have to increment the value of rear by 1. So rear plus 1. Clear? Now here rear is previously 1. Now 1 plus 1 will become 2. This is my queue. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And now 11 is already there. 22 is already there. So 0th index is pointed by front variable. Now rear is pointing to 2. So 33 I'll insert at the index 2. Okay. So this is what the background of insertion operation. Clear? So in brief, if you are doing the insertion for the first time, the rear and front both needs to be incremented because if there is a single element, so that will be the first element and that is also the last element. But after that, any number of insertion operation you do, only the rear value needs to be incremented by 1. And to which index rear is pointing, I have to keep the new value at that index. Okay. So let's see some examples. So for the first time, suppose you are doing the insertion 10. So rear and front both became 0. Okay. And 10 is now inserted at the index 0. Clear? Suppose I am doing the insertion of value 4. Next time, I am doing the insertion, only rear is incremented to 1. Okay, front is still 0. Clear? So that means 4 has been inserted at index number 1. Okay. Suppose one more time I am doing the insertion. Clear? So again, while doing insertion 20, it is checking that you are not doing the insertion for the first time. So only the rear value has been implemented. So this is index 0, index 1, and index 2. Clear? So front is pointing to the first element, that is 10. And rear is pointing to 20, which is the last element of the queue. Okay. So this is what the concept behind your insertion operation in queue. Okay. Now coming to the delete operation. Done. So delete operation you are doing means you are removing one element from the beginning of the queue. That means to which index front is pointing. That is the first element you have inserted, and that element you need to delete. But like insertion operation, you are having an option which value you want to insert into the queue. But in delete operation, you don't have any option. To which value front is pointing, that value needs to be implemented. Okay. So whenever 10 was previously here, index 0, 1, 2. Now this is pointed by front and this is pointed by rear. Now whenever I'll use delete, instantly front is incremented. So now front is not pointing to 0. Front is pointing to 1. So that means this 10 has been removed from the queue. Okay. Next time, suppose I'll use delete. Okay. Instantly, my front will be incremented to this one. So that means 4 will be deleted from the queue. Okay. So in delete operation, to which index front will point, you have to remove that particular value, or automatically that value will be deleted. Okay. Now you can realize that why this is known as first in, first out, because to which value you have inserted first, front is pointing or keeping track of that element. Whenever you are using delete function, that element will be removed from the queue first. Okay. So by through queue data structure, you are providing first in, first out operation. Okay. So let me see some example. Next time I am calling delete function, instantly front is incremented to 2. That means the index value 1 has been removed from the queue. Okay. Now through this insert delete function of queue, we will come across 3 different concepts. What? The first one is known as a queue overflow. So what is this queue overflow is all about? Now, for example, suppose this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, size of my queue is 6. Okay. So if all the index are having value, that means I have not deleted a single value. So front is now pointing to 0. Clear? And rear is pointing to 5. Okay. So now suppose I want to insert one value. So insert 90. Clear? What I will know? Before doing any insert operation, I have to increment the value of rear by 1. But here, before doing any insert operation, I have to check what is the status of my rear variable. If rear is pointing to size minus 1, that means if rear is equal to size minus 1, then I'll just give a message queue overflow. Means no more space is available to insert this new item. Okay, so queue overflow means now the space is not available inside the queue. Clear? So that means before doing any insert operation, I have to check whether rear is pointing to size minus 1 or not. If rear is pointing to size minus 1, give a message to the user queue overflow. Means no more space is available. Okay. Otherwise, you can go for the insert operation. Means if rear is not pointing to size minus 1, means space is available in my queue. Clear? Okay. So this is one case. Then now coming for the queue underflow. So coming for case 3 first. When the queue is entirely empty, my rear will be minus 1 and front will also be minus 1. So that means if not a single value is present in my queue and I'll call a delete function, then instantly queue underflow message will come. How? I'll check if front equal to -1. You can check rear equal to -1 also, but let front is dealing with delete operation. So I'm using front equal to if -1 satisfies, means this is what the case. Not a single element is present in the queue. So one message will be given, queue underflow, means delete operation cannot be done. Okay. Third case, which is my case 2. Okay. Suppose a single element is present, means what? Previously 10, 20, 30 were there, or any 3 elements are there. This is the last element I have inserted, means rear is pointing to this one. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Done. So I have deleted this one. So front is pointing to 1. I have deleted this one. So front will point to this one. Once I will delete 30, now front will point to 3. Clear? So that means a simple concept, if front equal to rear, or front and rear both are pointing to a single index, means only one element is present in the queue. Clear? If I will delete this one, what will happen? Now front will be incremented. Now front will point to 4. Yes or no? So whenever I'll delete one value, front will be incremented. So if there will be a single element in the queue, now front will point to the next index of rear. Okay. After that, if I'll call delete function once again, now no more value is present because 60 was the only value was present, and now not a single value is present in my queue. Okay. So what I should get? I should get the message queue underflow. But what is the condition? Condition is front equal to rear plus 1. Okay. So that means there are two cases for queue underflow. Either the entire starting state we are getting, or front equal to -1 is the condition, or we have done some operations. Finally, not a single element is present in the queue. That is why front equal to rear plus 1 condition will satisfy. Okay. So if any one of these condition will satisfy, I have to provide queue underflow, means delete operation is not allowed. If rear is pointing to size -1, then insert operation is not allowed. Okay. So this is very important concept, that what is the difference between queue overflow and queue underflow. Queue overflow case will come in a one case. Queue underflow will come in two different cases in queue. Okay. And whatever the concept we have discussed regarding this queue, everything is known as your linear queue. Okay. As queue is of different types, but whatever we have discussed, this is the details of linear queue. Okay. So through this video, we have discussed what is actually queue, what is the principle behind your linear queue, and how the insert and delete operations are being done, how queue overflow, queue underflow cases will arise in during the operations. Okay. So in the next video, we'll implement the concept of linear queue. Okay. So thank you everyone for watching this.